Let go.
Yep.
My guess is it's just going to be the two of us, and besides again, it'll be later. He didn't respond at all to any of the text messages, so.
Typical. Dude, so tired from working.
Yeah, as if like fucking nobody else works and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Well, before we get into like the football talk, which I'll go over the topic, but you want to just fill in or recap our night last night?
Sure. How like in detail do you want me to get?
It doesn't need to be like the fucking box score and shit. But
All right. So we did all baseball, which is like I think we ended up going 6 for 6 in the afternoon and night slate, which is like almost unheard of.
yeah,
But it was Mets. I think we went like the biggest bet on Mets money line. They were minus 175, so it wasn't like some like outrageous like win by us, but still.
Mm-hmm.
Mets money line, and then we went Atlanta Braves run line. I think was a straight bet, and those
Yeah,
were
it was,
max unit plays.
Yeah,
and then we had a free risk-free bet like $50 up to $50. So we just did a $50 parlay, and it was we double dipped on Braves, but we just took a money line, and we did team total Mets 4.5 that hit, Dodgers run line that hit, and then over 9 in the White Sox Twins game, which that pushed, but it was 2-2 in extra innings. And then the White Sox, or was it the White Sox or the Twins?
The Twins. The Twins. I was watching it.
I did too. They put up 6 runs in the 10th inning.
No.
Yeah, they did.
No. They put up 4 runs in
6 runs total. Yeah.
And so it was at 8, and then in the bottom of the 10th, the White Sox scored 1 to get to 10.
Mm-hmm.
But I was texting you. So this was pretty much at this point everything had already hit. Dodgers were still playing, but they were up like 5-1 in like the 7th inning, and then the Braves game was in a delay, but they were up just as much.
Mm-hmm.
But both those games ended up coming down to the wire because we had both run line. But we were at 8, and then the bottom of the 10th, obviously, runner gets placed at second base with no outs, and long story short, they end up having a guy on second, and then they get a single. How did it play out? No, it went to 9, right? So it went to 9, and then after that, we needed another run.
Mm-hmm.
And then off the next single, instead of sending the guy home, they held him at third, which in any other circumstance, a single with a guy on second would have just scored him, you know?
Right.
So they held him at third, and it was first and third, 2 outs instead of guy on first only, and then scoring a run. Really bizarre. I know it's hard to explain, but really stupid.
Well, my take, I haven't watched too many extra inning baseball games because at that point you probably already know if you lost or won your bet. But if you can't score 1 run in extra innings, you absolutely just suck. How do you have a runner? You start with a runner on second with no outs.
I think it just comes down to you just don't care. Like, I don't know. I really, to me, it seems easy, especially because the first thing you do should be just advancing to third, and then there's so many other like ways to get him home from third with 1 out. It's like when you have a guy in second out, you just go up there with the same game plan, like try to get the ball in the gap, and that's when the guy gets like stranded on second and game over. And
that was like basically what the White Sox were trying to do. first batter struck out, and then now they're 1 out. Now
Yep.
it eliminates half of what you can do.
Yep. Yeah.
Anyways,
But all in
nonetheless,
all,
yeah. I didn't even watch the end of the Dodger or the Braves game. I fell asleep.
I didn't. Oh, well, we can't watch Dodger games, so I didn't watch it either. But they were kind of like on cruise control when they were up, and then I didn't watch the Braves game either. But I know that I think it was 6-1, and then the game got delayed in the fourth inning, and then of course it came back in the fifth inning, and St. Louis in their half. I think it was they were the home team, and their half the inning hit 2 home runs in the same inning, so it went from 6-1 to 6-3, and then of course we have Braves run line. So I was like, oh my gosh, here we go. And I don't think they ended up scoring, or I don't know how the end played out, but they ended up covering run line. The
Crazy.
Braves did. So yeah, probably not too many of those days where you hit that much baseball.
No, you have to really scale it back today.
Or
No.
Yeah, just
But or just go small like we did earlier. We just live bet 2 tennis plays.
Yeah, easy.
Like a quarter of a unit on both, and just low risk.
Yeah, I like that. Low risk. All right, so we're gonna turn our attention to football, and my guess is you probably didn't look at any of the thing I sent you.
You'd be correct, but I have it pulled up right in front of me, so I'm looking right now.
Okay, good. So I could start, and you can just kind of pick different teams and chime in or whatever. So what we're gonna do today is we're gonna look at ESPN's. They call it the way too early top 25 for the college football season. I'll read off 1 through 25 quickly, and then we're gonna pick 1 to 2, I guess as many as we want, but at least one team in the top 20, the current top 25, that's no longer going to be in the top 25 at the end of the year, and then one current team, or at least one current team in the top 25 now, that'll end the year in the top 4, in the final 4. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Because there's only 25 options, I'm sure we're gonna have some overlapping choices here, but let me read through the top 25 really, and then I'm gonna ask you a question. But
okay,
number 1 preseason, way too early. Number 1 team, according to ESPN, is Alabama, of course. It goes Alabama, Ohio State 2, Georgia 3, USC 4, A&M 5, that's Texas A&M, Utah 6.
I'm looking at a different thing than you are.
Okay, well, I sent it to you.
I know, but I searched on Google. I literally typed in ESPN way too early top 25, like the exact headline.
Maybe they update it every day or some shit.
What's the date on that?
What the fuck? May 19th, 2022.
Okay, hold on. Let me. I see it January of February.
I'll just try to send you. It's in the text message.
I know. I understand that. I can't pull it up on my phone. It's going to mess up the audio.
Oh, my goodness.
Just go ahead. Keep going.
Okay. Numbers, let me go back. 6 was Utah. 7 was Notre Dame. 8, NC State. 9, Michigan State. 10, Michigan. 11, Oklahoma State. 12, Clemson. 13, Houston. 14, Oklahoma. 15, Pitt. 16, Oregon. 17, Wake Forest. 18, Baylor. 19, BYU. 20, Arkansas. 21, Ole Miss. 22, Kentucky. 23, Cincinnati. 24, Tennessee. And number 25, Iowa. Any first thoughts on any team that shouldn't be there when you heard the 25?
I can probably give you like 20 of them.
Okay, give me the most obvious one then.
Okay, well, let me preface this by saying that I haven't done too much research on football yet, right? No deep dives in college football, because I kind of want to see like where all the pieces land. Like, there's no point in doing all this research and then things change. I just don't know. I think this is going to be a year where you're going to see like a weird top 10, top 4. You're going to see teams. I think you're probably going to see a group of 5 team getting close to the Final Four because they're going to go undefeated. So with that being said, I just think that all these Power 5 conferences are almost going to like beat up on each other. You're going to see a lot of 2 losses up at the top.
Okay.
Because like at the top of my head, who stands out as like the best returning quarterback?
Well, you're asking me, or you?
Yeah, I'm asking you. Like, who comes
I
to
guess.
mind?
I mean, me personally, or you like?
Yeah.
I have to look at the list, but of course,
that's what I'm saying.
The general public is going to say Bryce Young, or not Bryce Young, whatever the quarterback is from Alabama. Bryce Young, right?
Why isn't it show? I think so.
Yeah, pretty sure it's his name.
Okay. Number 2.
Hold on. Let me just make sure. Yeah, Bryce Young. So weird. Like, yeah. Anyways, number 2, I guess. I mean, 1A, 1B would be Bryce Young and CJ Stroud, which is probably how they pick these preseason, or probably played a role.
Okay.
That Bryce Young is the best returning starting quarterback there for Alabama's preseason number 1, which is so stupid, but and then like I said, Ohio State's number 2, and they probably said CJ Stroud is up there, but then USC's 4 with Caleb Williams. Those are probably your 3 top returning quarterbacks, which I have my gripes about each of them, but
exactly, that's what I'm saying. Like, to me, it doesn't seem as if any team is gonna just dominate.
No,
this year. It could be Alabama, I guess, but they just lost like all their receivers. Just so they, I mean,
which I thought about that, because I almost thought about saying like going like an extreme hot take, or like what, forget it. But at some point, the legacy always ends. Something always happens to where your system just doesn't work anymore, right? For a typical team, I was thinking about this. A typical team that has a dominant year or a really good year, and a lot of that was based on people that are no longer going to be there next year, right? So the team last year, not a lot of them are going to be back this year, right? Other than their quarterback. But I always wonder, how much are they going to lose from those new guys coming in? Are they the type of people that don't need like any motivation, and they're like self-motivated to do exactly what the year before team did, and that kind of thing, like very stat-driven shit? Or like, did they lose like any sort of motivation sitting out of year? Like out of high school, they fucking committed to Bama, probably sat out a year or 2 or something, and now it's their turn. It's like, are you gonna now be what the receivers were last year?
Most of the time, no. But
well, it has been, yes, but now are you gonna see like a taper off this year? It can't happen every year. It's not like possible, right?
Okay. For sure. I don't know, but to go back to your initial question, I'm looking at the list right now. The 2 teams, like right away, that are gonna, I think, are drop out: BYU and Cincinnati.
Okay, so let me pull up my thing. So
here's my reason. Cincinnati just lost their best defender.
Yeah.
Okay.
And their quarterback.
And their quarterback.
And their running back.
Which is all like their playmakers.
Yeah. Definitely.
So they're only returning, it says, 2 defenders. So you're like, you lost your best defender, and then you're rebuilding your defense. It's just, you're not gonna see the same output on defense, because they were pretty much like essentially like a lockdown defense when it comes down to it. That was like their Their defense was way better than what their offense was.
Yeah, kept them in games for sure.
Now, like, you don't have that crutch this season,
which I think is going to be the theme for a lot of these teams that we're going to eliminate from the top 25
for sure. And then BYU, they're I don't even know who they play this year. They went 10-3 last year.
Notre Dame.
Yeah, no, I know. I don't know who else they play, but I'm saying I just don't think they're like any good.
Well,
like they don't do anything special.
No, they don't. Hard nose.
Yeah.
Which a lot of
is that receiver gone? I don't know. It doesn't look like it. He's pretty good, but
their running back's gone.
Yeah, he's gone.
Allgaier, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So their schedule this year. Oh, jeez, wow. Yeah. So they play at South Florida first game, then they play. Which are you going to be looking ahead because game 2 they play at home against Baylor. Baylor's like preseason ranked, yeah. Then they play at Oregon, another top 25 team. Then they play Wyoming, Utah State, and then they go back to back.
Utah State's no slump either.
No, they're not. In-state rivalry as well, but so then it goes. I guess I'll go. It goes Utah State, Notre Dame, Arkansas, back to back to back. Then you have to travel across the country and play at Liberty. So that's a pretty tough schedule. And then you end the year at Stanford. So yeah,
that's why you take the under team like total wins for BYU. I see like 4 or 5 losses easy.
Definitely, I agree. They were definitely one of the teams that caught my eye, but I don't know. I thought it was they were like low. They're like 19 right now or some shit, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so the 2 teams. I have a third team, and I didn't include them in my. I guess I can cover them. But the 2 teams that I think are going to drop from the Wake Forest and Michigan State. And I think I would have to roster, but they're like a total gimmick offense. And it doesn't take very long nowadays for teams to be able to game plan against a gimmick offense, right? RPOs and all bullshit. Now people have caught up. But these guys do like the extra long mesh,
Mm-hmm.
And it fooled some people, and they just fucking chucked the ball deep. And I don't think people are gonna catch on. These guys were like a fucking top 10 team like all year.
Embarrassing.
And they're just like, yeah. No.
Yo.
Oh, you're in.
I am.
Right on time. We were just going over our top 25 teams that are going to get balanced by the end of the year. Justin said BYU. I'm covering Wake Forest right now. Let me pull up Wake Forest's schedule. But I don't see. I mean, I'm very bearish on the ACC as it is. But if I think once I pull up their schedule, Wake Forest is going to have at least 2-3 losses, therefore there's no reason for them to be in the top 25.
Mm-hmm.
They play Vanderbilt game 2 at Vandy, and then they play at home against Liberty, at home against Clemson, which probably put Clemson as a win, like Clemson beating Wake Forest. After the Clemson game, they play at Florida State. So there's your back-to-back division ACC losses right there, right? After you lose Clemson and at Florida State, the very next game you play Army, which is never easy, again, especially against teams that never see the triple option. Then they go on a bye, and then they play a 4-game stretch after the bye, where it's Boston College, at Louisville, at NC State, which NC State's supposed to be really good this year, and then they play at home against North Carolina. So I count in there at least 5 losses. So therefore, thanks for making an appearance, Wake Forest, but back to where you belong. Fucking out of the top 25. Justin, you're still here, yeah?
Yep.
Okay. Second team I have, and I'm trying to buy some time for you, PJ, if you wanted to add a team in there. But second team I had was Michigan State. So last year, one of the teams I really liked was Michigan State. I think their team total going into last year, and it was Mel Tucker's first year, was like 4.5 or some shit like that. Something super low. Of course, they exceeded expectations, and they were like a top 10 team at one point, and they kind of fell off at the end of the year. But a lot of their success was on the shoulders of their running back, Kenneth Walker or something like that. I forget his name. That sound about right?
Yep.
Yeah, Kenneth Walker. He's gone. So due to him being like a lot of what your success was, he's gone, and people like now seeing like, okay, this is like the Mel Tucker style of like playing. I don't expect them to win very many games this year. But kind of the same thing as the Wake Forest, like back to where you guys belong, bottom tier of the Big Ten. And again, let me pull up their schedule. So they play Western Michigan, and I've noticed this with the Big Ten, other than Ohio State, and I haven't checked everyone's team, but they do have very weak non-con games. So they play Western Michigan, Akron. Game 3, they play at, which 50-50 game right there. Minnesota, Maryland, Ohio State, which is probably a loss. Then they play, after Ohio State, they play Wisconsin. I have to do a little bit more research about Wisconsin, but probably lost as well. And a bye week. Then after the bye, they play at the Big House, at Michigan. Probably a loss. And they finished the year 4 games at Illinois, at home against Rutgers, at home against Indiana, and then at Penn State, which is probably a loss. So I see like 3, 4, possibly 5 losses as well. So same thing with Wake Forest and Michigan State, and I guess the same thing as BYU. You've seen a lot of like potential 4 or 5 losses. Therefore, bye to the top 25. BJ, anything for the good of the cause here?
Who did you guys say already? Just catch me up real quick.
We just talked. This was it. You got in at the Justin.
Okay,
said
perfect. I'm gonna say Baylor.
Okay.
I just see at the end of the year. Hold on, hold up. Oh, I'm looking up the old schedule here. Yeah, they start off. They play fucking BYU in September. They got Oklahoma State, West Virginia, Texas Tech, Oklahoma, Kansas State, Texas, and TCU. I just think that's a pretty tough schedule. I mean, that's my pick. I'd say Baylor doesn't make the top 25 this year.
Did Baylor win the Big 12 last year? Pretty sure they did. Or they played in the game.
Watch.
You know what's funny is I'm pretty sure. Let me pull up my notes. No, I didn't. I almost added Baylor in one of my potential top Final Four teams. Big 12 is just like a lot of these cards. Big 12, ACC, and all of them. They all just beat up on each other, and so anything can happen if you're the team that gets hot at the right time.
Yeah, I guess the reason I'm saying it just because, like I said, it looks like the second half of the season, they're playing teams that are potentially all going to be in like the same position, you know?
Yeah.
So,
yep.
You lose 2, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You lose 2 or 3 of those games, you're out, you know?
For sure. For sure. Justin, did you have a second team or just one?
No, I already said 2.
You said BYU and who?
Let me scroll back down. BYU and Cincinnati.
Oh, that's right. In Cincinnati. That's right. Okay. So BYU, Michigan State, Wake Forest, Baylor. I'm gonna throw a sixth one in there to get BJ too.
Mm-hmm.
It goes the same reason that Justin picked Cincinnati. Michigan is gonna have to replace.
I was gonna say Cincy too.
Michigan is gonna have to replace all their like on paper studs on defense. You know, Hutchinson, Jobo, that kind of shit.
Mm-hmm.
And they lost their defense staff. So their defense coordinator went elsewhere. And so their new defense coordinator having to I don't know if they're going to be running a different system or whatever, but there's always like some, like you're not percent year one under a new D coordinator.
Mhm.
So, I mean, they're sure. Let me pull up their schedule. I already said they have to play Michigan State. They're going to play Ohio State. I'm sure. They're going to have a couple losses, and this might be the end of the Harbaugh era at Michigan.
They need to sign like an extension or no?
Well, money can solve a lot of things. You fucking buy them out, I'm sure.
Huh.
But yeah, it's just your typical Big Ten schedule. They play at Iowa, at Indiana, Penn State at home, Michigan State at home, and then they end the year at Ohio State. So I don't know, like 3-4 losses, and they won't make the Big Ten championship. So that would be our 6th. Any notes against any of those teams other than maybe the Baylor one? But
No, yeah, I can see that too. The only other team I'm looking at, I think, wow, Iowa and shit, dude. How is Utah State up here? Like, what the hell? UL Lafayette? What's going on?
Utah.
no,
Huh?
you because the one I read off, I read all.
Oh, I'm looking at last year. Okay, hold on.
Yeah, UL
Yeah,
Lafayette was in
that's
there.
what it is.
Well, while you're looking, okay, from the top 25, at least one team. We don't have too many because there's only 4 spots, but at least one team that's currently in the top 25 that's going to be in the Final Four. Justin.
Texas A&M. It's not like going out on a limb, but
How about them as well?
I think that the last 5 years, I don't even know, just throwing that number out, but I know that they're consistently recruiting top tier defenders. And right?
Yep.
Okay.
They're up there in the 2023 recruiting class.
Yeah, no, I know you're like up with the recruiting, so but it's just year after year their quarterback play has been what's holding them back.
For sure.
But for some reason they still end up with enough wins, you know?
Yep, it's definitely the system that keeps them like in games.
So this is what, like year 3 or something with Jimbo, year 3 or 4 or something.
Mm-hmm.
I think this will be the year that they probably put it together.
And it's sort of
they got a couple transfers, I think, at quarterback, but regardless, whoever their quarterback's going to be, they'll have him for game 1, and if they have that quarterback through the rest of the season, you'll probably see them in the SEC championship. That's my lean.
Pretty sure, and I have like total like short-term memory loss, and like I watch every fucking college football game, and then like in the offseason I can't remember who beat who and shit like that. But
it's because right after football ends, you're on to baseball and
for sure. But I'm pretty sure and had like big victories last year. I don't know if didn't they beat Bama or something like that? Maybe not.
Yeah, with a field goal, I think, at the end.
But they had like some like third string quarterback play.
That's what I'm saying.
He potentially might be like the
starter
quarterback they're looking for.
Yep.
Let me find it. Let me get his name really quick.
Zalstra or something like that.
Yeah. Quarterback. Not on the roster. Oh, you know who they have though? That's who you're talking. They have fucking Brad Johnson's son from LSU.
No, unless he like graduated, they had the other guy who played there. Go ahead, keep talking.
No, but I'm saying their quarterback this year is going to be Max Johnson.
Maybe.
Yeah, I think so.
Maybe.
Which is going to like totally elevate their play. Yeah, I like A&M. Okay, A&M for sure. You want me to go over their schedule really quick?
No, don't care.
Okay. All right, I have 2, but
keep talking. I got to step away for a second. Keep going.
The easiest one is Clemson, because I think they're gonna
to stay in
to be a top 14.
Okay, yeah, that was gonna be my pick. Asshole.
Okay, so that's fine. Then I'll pick a second one, but because they started out the year so shaky, and like I think they won out at the end of the year. Of course, like they had like 3 or 4 losses in the beginning that prevented them from being a playoff team. But I think they just roll that into this year. And ACC is weak. Like, they just beat up on each other. Clemson will probably be a favorite in every game.
Mhm.
They'll have the upper hand. I'm gonna pull up their schedule because
I was just looking at something. Clemson has like 16 starters returning or some shit like that.
They lost some guys on the defense, but they played through those losses without them. So it's not like anything drastic.
They had like 6 or 7 defensive.
Okay, so their schedule, they play at Georgia Tech, game 1, which it should be a win. Furman, Louisiana Tech, then they play at Wake Forest, which Clemson's going to win that game. Their true first test is going to be at home against NC State. Then they play, after that, back-to-back road games against Boston College and Florida State. So you'll get a good like indication of where they're going to end the year after those 3 games. I guess after 4, Wake Forest, NC State, Boston College, Florida State. After their bye, they play at Notre Dame. So then there's another. Hopefully by then Notre Dame's still like a top 10 team. And then after the Notre Dame game, they play Louisville, Miami, and then end the year South Carolina. So it's a pretty tough schedule. I bet you their strength schedule is like up there. But if they run the fucking table, they'll be ACC champs and in the Final Four.
Let me interject really quick.
Mm-hmm.
The quarterback that I'm thinking of from Texas A&M last year was Zach Calzada. He's no longer on the team.
No, I know that. I know. I was looking at the roster.
I know. He transferred to Auburn.
Ooh. Auburn, I was listening to the Cover 3 guys, the hardest schedule this year. So, fucking, like, literally they play, like, every, like, blue blood. So, tough year for Auburn fans.
Okay. Well, I'm still on Texas A&M, so.
Texas A&M, Clemson, me and Peter both like Clemson. The other one I was going to say is Utah. The caveat to that is I don't think they're very fond of putting Pac-12 teams in the Final Four. So they'll take a 1-loss like Big Ten or SEC team over a Pac-12 winner, I think. Agree, disagree?
The Achilles heel of the Pac-12, though, is that they're notorious for just like losing a game on the road. So,
no, I know.
Especially when it counts. All of a sudden you get Oregon State beating Utah or, some shit like that.
Well, Utah kind of just has like notoriously, I haven't looked at their roster, but like a lot of upperclassmen, a lot of older guys on their team that did their mission. They're like in their mid-20s. They have a coach that's been there forever, very hard-nosed. And I'm gonna pull up their schedule, and I think if they have a good chance of just like winning every game this year. I think Pac-12 is like very weak, especially if Utah can beat USC. Then it's like a freaking done deal.
Dude, USC is supposed everyone's like huge on USC right now.
Well, I mean, they got Lincoln Riley, they got Caleb Williams, they got all these wide receiver transfers, but Utah has the schedule that could, if they like have the right wins, they could be. If they have the right wins and win the Pac-12, they'll be a Final Four team. They open up the year at Florida, so if you can go win on the road against an SEC team, huge resume builder right there. And they play Southern Utah, then they play SDSU, which SDSU is typically like a top 25 team. I don't know how much weight that carries, but it's a decent win. And they play Arizona State, Oregon State, then back-to-back UCLA, USC. And again, if they go,
they have such an easy schedule.
Yeah, but if Utah goes the first half of the year beating Florida, SDSU, UCLA, and USC, I think they cruise through the second half. But they do play Stanford and at Oregon, which is your 2 hardest. But again, if you beat all 4 of those, including Oregon, fucking walk into the Final Four, I think. Anyone else to add to the list?
No, I agree. I agree with that. I'm trying to look right here.
A&M, Clemson, Utah.
Alabama, dude. Alabama has such an easy schedule this year.
That might work against them.
Yeah, it might at the end, huh?
Because they do tend to, however they do it, they do tend to add the teams that play a ranked non-con game. So Ghana schedule fucking Chattanooga and shit like that. Like that doesn't help you in the end. You got like what Ohio State's doing. They're non-con. And
dude,
so
yeah, I don't understand this schedule.
With the
no. I understand. I just like how like they play nobody. They have Texas A&M, Mississippi, and LSU. Those are the only three like tough games on the schedule for them. Utah State, Texas, LA Monroe, Vanderbilt, Arkansas, Tennessee, Mississippi State.
Okay, here, hold on. Let me stop here. Texas is going to be better this year than they were last year. Not to mention they have Arch Manning coming next year. So they're going to do everything possible, especially with Sarkisian as their coach.
They get stomped. Next. Wow. This one just left?
Let's see if he comes back in.
Mm-hmm. No, what I'm saying is I only see 3 potentially tough matchups for Alabama on their schedule, which is pretty whack. But yeah, like you said, it could definitely hurt them in the end. Yeah, everyone's huge on USC this year. Let's see here. I was gonna pick Texas A&M too, you bastard.
That's okay. We got 3. You only pick 4 teams. You're gonna get Ohio State, so there's 4.
Yeah, I'll take Ohio State.
Mm-hmm. Ohio State, A&M, Utah.
What I'm trying to say here, like land my plane on this point, is if Alabama loses to LSU or Ole Miss or both, they might not be in the top 4.
In the top 4? No, they'll drop out of the top 25.
Yep, that's 20%. What I'm saying. So we have Ryan asked if it ended.
Okay, well, let's just wrap this up then. So we did our top 25 teams that are not going to make top 25 and the teams that are going to make top 4. You have any plays for today or no? No,
not yet. I'm literally recovering from the work week that I just had, so I'm about to break it open right now, and I'll post my picks on Twitter and shit, but I'm gonna converse with you guys right now.
Okay, I got one play. I haven't done too much research, but over, I think it's 6.5 strikeouts. Max Scherzer. That's my play.
Max Scherzer. Okay, I'm gonna build around that one.
Yeah, so you can bet that or put that on Price Picks, and
absolutely,
it should be a winner.
Let's do it. Yeah, okay. I need a big win today. Big win today.
All in.
Yep.
Go ahead. Let it ride.
Yeah, I'm going to.
All right.
All right. All right. Yeah. Same time tomorrow and shit.
Mm-hmm.
All right.